Hi, Pep Stars. It's your number one Pep teacher. I'm the Pep specialist, if you will. All right, so I did the first part of the Science 2020 for curriculum-based test. I'm seeing the comments. I love the reaction. And I know you're all anticipating part two. So here you have it. Let's go straight to the question. I think that's right. Nope. So let's a bit further. So we're continuing at 21. I was down here because I was looking at a question. Before I joined in the video. All right, let me zoom out so we can see this diagram. Okay, I can actually scroll it. Let me see if it will hold. All right, fair enough. So question 21 says the diagram below shows a container filled with a mixture. Clearly examining the diagram, then answer item 21. And we have the container, sawdust, metal thumbtacks, fine sand particles, and water. In order, so they want to collect the water from the mixture. So I said, in what order should the mixture be separated to collect the water from the mixture? First, use a magnet. So the magnet will be used to take out the thumbtacks. Then use a sieve. The sieve can take out the larger particles and then filter to collect the water. The filter will take out the fine sand particles. All right, that looks like the answer. Sieve then magnet, but what would take out the fine particles? So B it, not it. C, you need a filter to take out the small sand particles. So the correct answer is A. If the mixture is evaporated, then the water is out of the mixture. So that's definitely not the answer. Let's move on to number 22, which is a solid liquid mixture. Peas and rice, or rice and peas, both solids. Corn flakes and milk, that looks to be the answer. Corn flake is solid, milk is liquid. Salt and black pepper, both solid. Syrup and water, both liquid. So the correct answer is E. The diagram below shows the observation made after 4 different mixtures were allowed to sit for 5 minutes. Use the information to answer item 23. Mixture 1 at 0 minutes, mixture 1 at 5 minutes. And all of the diagrams is showing the mixture at 0 minutes and after 5 minutes. Which mixture formed a solution? So the mixture that formed a solution is the one that dissolved completely. That's mixture 2. If you realize that the other mixtures, the particles are still visible and they have not dissolved entirely. So the correct answer is 2. Let's look at the next question. The picture below shows a small area of a rainforest. One section of the rainforest shows thick tree coverage, it's forested. While the other section shows deforestation. Use the picture to answer item 24. We're seeing the picture here. Which change would most likely happen over time? Animal population would decrease in the deforested section. Wind in the deforested section would stop blowing. That's not possible. This is the correct answer. But I'm just looking at the other option. The oxygen level would increase. That's also not true because there are not much trees there, so there wouldn't be an increase. Average annual rainfall would increase. Also, the rainfall would increase because there's not much tree there. So the correct answer is A. Number 25. Let's read the instructions. Use the information below to answer item 25. A group of scientists investigated the effect of sound in the harbor, the effect that sounds in a harbor had on the harbor's fish population. The diagram below shows the results of their investigation. All right. This is a repeated question. I can just literally go to the answer because we've looked at this before. So what you can see, I'm just going to move straight to the answer. What you can see is that after day one, there was very loud noise, and then the population was 12, and then there were soft sounds, and then the population increased, and then day three, you had loud noise, and then the population also decreased. So the loud sound scared away the fishing. The line graph below, looks also like a repeated question. I can't quite, but I'm pretty sure I've done this before. The line graph below shows the speed of sound as it travels through different states of matter. Use the information, I was gonna say in the graph, to answer item 26. So we see the speed of the sound, and we're seeing the different states of matter. Through which of the following would sound travel the fastest? So if sound travels the fastest through solid, we're just looking for the solid here, which is concrete wall. Let's move on to number 27. The model. The model below was created to demonstrate how the bones, joints, and muscles work together to create movement. Structure 1 works by pulling on structure 2 and 3. If 2 is pulled, structure 5 moves upwards. If 3 is pulled, structure 5 moves downwards. Carefully examine the diagram, then use it to answer item 27. Which structure is likely represents the muscle? So the muscle is the one that's doing the pulling, and that's I. The bar graph below shows how overfishing. The bar graph below shows how overfishing has affected the population size of 4 different types of fish. Use the information to answer item 28 and 29. Bar graph showing population size of 4 fish types before and after overfishing. And we're seeing the fish types there. Blue bars before overfishing, red, or what is this, peach bar after overfishing. Which fish type had the largest population before they were overfished? Let's look. That looks like fish type 1. Which statement is true? Twice as many fish type 1 was caught when compared to fish type 2. I can see how many of us might have challenge with this one because we're seeing where it's 2 times here. Right, so this is 2 and this is 4. But this isn't what's the number of fish that was caught. This is just the fish population after the overfishing, all right? So that's not the correct answer. What you really need to look at is the fall here. That will show you the number of fishes that were caught. And these are the same numbers, so it's not twice as much, all right? So that's not A. Fish type 5 was most affected by overfishing. Let's check now on the decline. All right, so it had the largest decline because here, this is what the decline is for in the fish population for fish type 3. So that looks like the correct answer. Let's check the others though. The number of fish type 2 and fish type 5 caught were equal. Let's look at 2 and 5, and it's not equal, but I'm just going to look back at it. So, are you seeing here? Not equal. This is twice the fish type 2. The number of fish type 5 caught is twice the number of fish type 2 caught. Fish type 2 had the smallest population after the period of overfishing. Look at it. No, because fish type 3 still has the smallest population. So the correct answer is B. Fish type 5 was most affected by the overfishing. All right, the next question says, during an investigation, a light source was placed at different distances from an object. The height of the shadow formed were measured. The table below shows the result of the investigation. Use the table to answer item 30. All right, so we have the table here showing the light sources and the height of the shadow. And for the light source distance, 15 centimeters, we're seeing that the shadow is 55 centimeters, 30 for the light source distance in centimeters. The height of the shadow is 40 centimeters. For 40 centimeters for the light source, we're seeing 25 for the height of the shadow. And for the light source, the distance is 55 and the height of the shadow is 15. All right, so I'm seeing a pattern. Hope you are as well. It says which statement is true. Increasing the light source distance increases the height of the shadow. No, I'm not seeing that. Changing the light source distance does not affect the height of the shadow. The height of the shadow is affected. So that is also not correct. Increasing the light source distance decreases the height of the shadow. This is the pattern I'm seeing. If you can look, you can see that the height of the shadow is being decreased while the light source distance is being increased. That's the correct answer. And they're not both decreasing, so that's not correct. Next question. A student wanted to determine which of the three metals was the hardest. The diagrams below show the steps involved in the student's investigation. Use them to answer item 31. We're seeing the metal nail there, and we see material A, B, C, and the steps are the same. Use the metal nail to try to scratch the surface of material A. It's just the materials being changed for each step. And note if material A was scratched. What should the student do to ensure the test is fair? Scratch each material more than once. This is just ensuring accuracy. Use the same type of material that wouldn't test the hardness of the different materials. Use the nail to scratch use different nails to scratch each material. That's not fair because it's not the same nail. Scratch each material with the same force. This is the word that we're looking for the same force. So that, or these are the setup. This is the phrase that we're looking for, the same force. So we don't need to scratch one material harder than the other to create more indentation. Just the same force to see which material is hardest. One will undergo less indentation. Correct answer D. This is a repeated question. I can literally just go to the answer. The table shows the results of an investigation. Use the information to answer item 32. Table showing the mass of 3 paper towel brands before and after being placed in water. Brands Q, R, and S, original mass 10 grams each. Mass after placed in water is 18 grams for Q, 32 grams for R, and 25 grams for S. Which scientific question was the student most likely trying to answer? What is the mass of each brand of paper towel? No. Which of the 3 brands of paper towel is the strongest? Not quite. But which one is the most absorbent? Which one is soaking up more water and hence going to be heavier? That's why the mass is being measured. This is also a repeated question. We did this in the 2023 paper. I'm not gonna go through it. This is the representing the kidney. Yes, we did this already. The organ that is represented here is the kidney. This diagram represents the human body functions of the kidney. The diagram below shows the height of plant A, B, and C. In the diagram also, the conditions each plant is exposed to is shown. We're going to use that information to answer item 34. Plant A, plant B, plant C. Water, sunlight, number of insects, and cell type is being observed here. And it says which factor is likely causing plant B to grow the least. Let's look at it. So plant B and C has the same amount of water. All three of them are exposed to the same hours of sunlight daily. There's low insect in plants A and B. I'm just doing a comparison. And sand type for A and C are sandy, and for B it's clay. The quantity of water plant B receives daily, that's not affecting it because both of these are the same. The soil in which plant B was placed, this looks more likely to be the answer because it's clay. The amount of sunlight, all of them receive the same hours of sunlight per day. The amount of insect in plant B is part. The insect is low, the number of insect is low, so that's not really affecting the growth. So it gets good water, or a good amount of water. It gets same sunlight. The only difference here is the soil type. So this looks like it's what's really causing the plant not to grow in comparison to the other. I'll go with B. Number 35. Examine the bar graph and the statements below and use them to answer item 35. You have the bar graph. This is also a repeated question. Students, we had some repeated questions here. As I look at it anew, and I'm trying to remember if this came in the 2023 or the 2022, but I know this is a repeated question. I'm just gonna go straight for the answer. It's the airport. All right, what is really happening here? There is a frequent number of hearing loss and headaches over the past 30 years, right? So the new development of the airport is causing the increasing hearing loss and the increase in headache. I'm not really any further. I said it's a repeater. We just know the answer for repeaters because we've clearly seen them already. We've seen something similar to this, but it's not the same thing. A map and a table are shown below. The map shows, oh boy, I'm wondering why I'm talking like that. The map shows the location of fish along the coast of country X. The table shows the population size of the shark along the coast of country X. Use the information to answer item 36. And we can examine it. I'm just going to leave it there for us to examine it for a few seconds. Which is likely the reason that there are more sharks on the west coast rather than the east coast? Because there are more fishes. This is a fish location, and the sharks want to eat the fishes. So west coast, we have a high population size of sharks, and the east coast, where there's no fish, you have a very low population. So clearly there's more food on the west coast than on the east coast, and that's why the fishes are there. All the other answers are not correct. Lots of tables and graphs. A table and a graph are shown below. The table shows the average monthly temperatures and rainfall for location Q. The graph shows the growth rate of a plant found in location Q. Examine the table and the graph and then use them to answer item 37 and 38. And I'm just going to leave this here for you to examine for a few seconds. All right. Which best describes the pattern seen in the graph? It's fluctuating because it was high, then it was low, then it was increasing again. That's fluctuating. Which statement can be made about the plant? The growth rate of the plant is highest when or during periods when rainfall is low. Let's look at the table and measures the rainfall. So here the rainfall is low, and here also the rainfall is low. Let's look at the graph. Yes, plants, the plant growth, or the rate of the plant growth. Plant growth increased here in the months where we had low rainfall. Shows that. Let's check the others. During the period when the average rainfall was high, let's look at the period where the rainfall was high. The rainfall was high here, but it didn't show a growth, actually show a decrease in the growth. When average temperature was 27, I believe that was also from May to August, and it didn't show a growth yet, so 27. And the other question is saying when the average temperature is over 27, and that's also showing a decrease in it. The correct answer is A. And the average rainfall is low. The diagram below shows a student observe what a student observed over 4 days while looking at 2 trees, tree Q and tree R. Examine the diagram, then use it to answer item 39. Let's look at there, examining. I can look at it and just say that the bluebirds are following the butterfly. Anywhere they go, the butterflies go, the bluebirds are there. Just let's. So we have blackbird, bluebird, butterfly, which best explains why the bluebirds changed the trees they perched on each day. The bluebirds changed the trees daily because they were afraid of the blackbirds. No, even when there were no blackbirds, because here no blackbirds were on tree. Tree Q. They were following the butterflies. This is my answer. Following the blackbirds, no, because they're not, as I said, it's not correct for A. It's not going to be correct for B because they're not on the trees where the blackbirds are. Looking for the most tree space, not necessarily. Because for day one, tree R had more tree space. There was nothing on tree R, but they still weren't over there, right? So they're following the butterflies. I saw the pattern as I looked at it. And for the grand finale, 2 diagrams followed by a statement are shown below. The diagrams show the result of an investigation to determine how much water 2 soil types, soil A and soil B, can hold. Use the information to answer item 40. Let's sit that there for a few seconds so you can examine it. Move on to the question. Which supports the idea that soil B is better for growing cactus? And the statement says that cactus plant grows best in soil that do not hold a lot of water. If we look at the diagram, soil A is holding more water because of the 250 milliliters of water poured into soil A, it retained some of the water. It didn't leave back, let out everything. And soil B actually let out all of the water. Or majority. We see that it has more water that passed through the soil. So more water passed. I'm already answering the question. More water passed through soil B than A. That's the correct answer. 250 milliliters of water can be added to soil B. Not correct. Soil A particles are larger than soil B. And usually when you have more waters being held in something, it's because the soil particles are smaller. So if the soil particles were larger, then it wouldn't hold the water. Like what is happening in soil A. And the water flows through soil B. Slowly. Water flows slowly through soil B. It doesn't show that in the diagram. It actually shows that it's flowing faster through soil B than A. So the correct answer is A. Let me stop sharing. So there you have it. That's the end of the paper. Now, students, we had a lot of diagrams, a lot of charts, lots of tables, right? So we can see that all of the questions were based on some form of observation, a majority of the questions. Overall, though, I do think it was a good paper. We had repeated questions as well. So those were just immediate giveaways. Like that was just a free mark. So tell me how you did in the comment section down below. Know that you've seen the entire paper and you've seen the answers that I've chosen. All right, so the next CBT paper I will be doing, I know some of you are gonna say language because that was done first, but I think I'm gonna go for the math. So you can just, check out that video and hit the notification bell. How are you going to see when I post the videos? And share with your friends so they can also get the insights as well and see how well they did. If you are able to grasp the information from these videos, chances are very likely that it's going to also be beneficial to another student. So share. All right. I'll see you in our next video. Thank you for watching.